When a slim stack of coffee filters mysteriously replaces the toilet paper and you have to wash your hands in the shower because the dirty dishes have now migrated from the kitchen to the bathroom sink, you should know there's something wrong. But more importantly, you're a 25-year-old man-child. So we'll throw a little more emphasis on should. You should know there's something wrong. But not just yet. Toussaint, if you're listening to this, it's because the time portal generator worked. And I, Toussaint 2015, am able to leave a message for you, Toussaint 2007. The next 8 years of your life will be dubiously glittered with shining moments of spectacle, adventure, and deep public humiliation. In 2010, someone will approach you and say, hey, aren't you that guy from the May Day parade who was dancing and everyone could see his cash and prizes flashing? The answer is yes. And if you're only going to wear a skirt and a headdress dancing in a parade, you should secure your tool in the gang with something tighter than boxers. There were families watching that parade. But it could have been worse. Your dick's not on the internet, at least not yet. It's 2015, so I'm sure there's plenty of time for that. The carousel of embarrassment only rotates as much as you care for it, and just because it doesn't shame as hard when someone's riding along and taking a share in it doesn't cut the accountability in half. Awareness isn't the opposite of careless. Giving a fuck is. And right now, you got a damn strong, good bonded marriage with careless. The two of you act like you feud in fairness, don't pollute the air with shitty contempt, and can dilute the truth with booze mixed with booze, dress it up in new shoes to see if it can run as fast as your mouth. Look, you don't have a laptop. You don't have a car. You Photoshop your band's posters on a gateway computer from 2001, and you drive your band's short bus to and fro with the bottle of Aristocrat vodka behind the driver's seat. But hey, silver lining here, you're not dead yet. Your brazen attempts to tempt the reaper, biking into oncoming traffic, talking back to police that can legally murder you, and gushing a love affair with Wisconsin small towns, partying past 4 a.m. And side note, the only physical reason these people are able to stay up howling at the moon with you until mid-morning is because they're juiced on Adderall and cocaine, Toussaint. Yep. Some of these people may genuinely like you. You come to their town, play music, put on a vivacious live show, and you all get inappropriately drunk until you fall asleep or drugs run out. Now, I know you don't cocktail or carouse with cocaine, Adderall, or OxyContin, or God knows what's canoeing through the veins of your cohorts and music connoisseurs. But in 2010, you will come to understand a saying. And that saying is, it's all over but the fucking. You'll come to learn this in 2010. However, the saying goes, it's all over but the fucking. The saying is derived from an earlier quote, it's all over but the crying. But you see, they've replaced crying with fucking to reference a romantic connection gone awry. And right now, Toussaint 2007, it truly is all over but the fucking. The current relationship you're in is going to collide with the wall of eventualities, sordid texts after bar close, and the reality that you are in love with the idea and not her. And I'm sorry to break it to you, buddy, but it won't be the last. You're this hopeless, romantic extremist throwing your heart first into every damn thing you do, man. You gotta cut that shit out. You're gonna get hurt, and more importantly, get somebody else hurt. And I know I'm not supposed to fuck with the space-time continuum, but it doesn't hurt to tell you something you may already know. You're not Ethan Embry, and this isn't Can't Hardly Wait. You're Kenshiro, and this is Fist of the North Star. Nobody's safe. Incremental success. There's something in the combination of those two words that motivates me to drink. Alcohol mixed with alcohol at an assertive pace, so fast you can feel a little bit of it bubble back up into your nose. It burns a little. Dear Minneapolis Public School Board, I haven't figured out why your teachers drink, but I may have found an answer to why they drink hard. Your insubordinate subpar efforts to fix the race problem in Minneapolis Public Schools is so underwhelming, it makes Detroit look like the Ivy League of K through 8. And Mississippi appeared to be on the cusp of a post-racial, Disneyfied Remember the Titans utopia. Yes, Minneapolis, we look like the school did before Remember the Titans, before the Titans were there to be remembered, or you know, like the school did before segregation was ended and Denzel came into, anyways. But you know what? Segregation is so old news and so yesteryear in the Twin Cities, we had to hit you up with that futuristic shit. We had to get you in with that new, super glossy, fresh out the box. Racial disparity! Oh! You know, because magnet schools just didn't really convey how much you don't give a free and reduced lunch. You had to show these non-white kids, they're not worth graduating. And while we're on Denzel films, I want to point out working as a paraprofessional in special ed classrooms is relative to being a fly in the wall in the black soldier tent in Glory. one after one. You watch young black male after young black male walk through the door. There's the illiterate black kid helping the literate, and surprisingly by the school's standards, super smart black kid. Then there's the consistently angry black kid who appears to have the genetics of Thor, is exceedingly taller than everyone in the hallway, has to duck through doorways to enter the classroom, and finally, the woe is me black kid. An introspective pile of sad sauce who actually knows the white kids are 4 times more likely to get out of this war on time other than the kids that look like him. He's sad because he sees the Matrix and has pretty much given up now that he's been ostracized into the special ed/resource room. Meanwhile, the white sergeant, teacher of said special ed class, is pounding truck stop sized cans of Monster energy drink. No, not the XXL. That shit's only 23.5 ounces. She puts back the Monster energy drink with BFC written on the side. 32 ounces, motherfucker. I watch her put back at least 2 a day, and that's only what I see. It's not easy being a human train station with all walks of inappropriate and crazy passing through your tracks. She's not well. And I do not want to know the Formula One pace she drinks while decompressing the pure vitriol when alcohol is anywhere within her reach. You see, Minneapolis Public School Board, a principal once asked me if I'd ever thought about getting my teaching degree, to which I replied, I can't. I drink tequila. And until the climate shifts in Minnesota to an all-around nuclear hot summer for cacti to grow and produce agave, they just wouldn't be able to produce the juice fast enough for me to work at the helm of a Decepticon, raking small children of color into a bag of academic failure and then throwing them into a dumpster of long-term poverty and high blood pressure. I don't have that special knack for lying to children the way that you do. And from my experience, neither do your teachers. Between the abominable concept of tenure, fatiguing factor of overworked, underpaid, and criminal heavyweight of overpopulated classrooms, nothing says duress, drinking, like 3rd grade teachers. Minneapolis Public School Board, have you seen these people? Miss Peterson and the gang put back gin and tons like last meals on death row. Multiple last meals. I've never witnessed so many grown women treat happy hour like an 11th hour. And I get it now. I really do. To be a teacher that cares must be like watching your dream die slowly, year after year after year, and the only reason you come back is because you really, really think that one day it's going to work. Definition of insanity. I interviewed for a job at a Minneapolis public school recently for a behavioral specialist position. The principal illustrated to me that at this school, they have the highest academic success and lowest amount of referrals in the city. So what's the problem, I demand? Well, he says, our white students, 90% of them are at the achievement level or above. And the black students, I demand. A woman in the room gasped for breath. Somewhere I heard a porcelain plate crash against the ground, followed by the sudden cracking sound of a beer can opening. It was probably all in my head. Our black students, he returns, 26% of them are at the achievement level or above. The look on my face I'm returning back to him is the look you give someone when you've been caught off guard, so much that you can't physically produce a gesture or a lie. So I give the look like I'm listening, but I'm not sure if I'm going to burst with laughter, shout profanities, or just be like, no, go on, you were saying? 26%? What's the good news? At this point, you realize I could put a musket in these kids' hands, put them in a time machine to 1846, and they'd have a better chance of surviving the Mexican-American War? When a grown-ass man with power and experience in his field tells you only 26% of the brown student population is on their way to graduation, you think about getting a cup of coffee and maybe staring at a wall for several hours. But when he follows it with, but we're making the highest incremental success every year, that's when Daddy reaches for the flask. And by the look of contrition emanating from his eyes, I can see that he cares too. But he just doesn't know what the hell to do. I respect these people in the recognition of accountability in the matter. However, in the game of poverty, capitalism, and academics, there is no incremental success. Either you have or you have not. Minneapolis Public School Board, although I know you share the same look on your face of not knowing what the hell to do, my immediate answer for the time being is better. Do better. Now. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. I appreciate this.